with the LG front load washer. It's a couple years old, and recently it started making a noise. Right now it's sort of weighing itself and balancing itself, whatever the smart features are, and it will put up a time and start spinning and start filling with water. So I'm going to record the noise, and I'm going to slide this out and take the top off. I haven't taken this one apart before, but I presume take the back or the top off, and it'll open up some things and you can listen closer for where the noise is. It's not happening during spin cycle, so that makes me think the bearings are fine. When I spin the tub by hand, it's completely silent. No loud noise here. There it goes. So when it started up, it's not spinning. Now it's spinning, it's going back and forth, but it's stopping. So I don't think it's related to the drum. My first guess is water inlet valve. We'll try to see if we can diagnose it. I have the washer pulled out. I've unplugged it. Got the water turned off. I didn't see any videos online how to take this specific model apart. I believe first inspection is to take the top off and turn it on and listen. I did take both screws out, and hopefully this top will slide back. Alright, it slides out. Okay, as I said, it's a relatively new unit, 2020. Got the dispenser area, goes down into the tub. That's nice that it's in the back now, not down the front. You got a hot water inlet valve, cold water inlet valve. Got your springs that the tub hangs on. Everything seems to be secure. Sometimes it's good to take this back off, see if there's any rust or water leaks, but I'm going to hold off on that, and I'm going to turn it on and see if I can hear where the noise is coming from. I'm going to plug it back in, turn the water on. And let's run a cycle. Really hard to tell. I think it's here or here. Well, it's not here. It's normal water sound, so I don't think we hear it for the rest of the wash cycle. It's only at the beginning. Now it's grinding even more in the wash cycle. Coming from here. I can feel it. Right on here. I'm going to take this screw out, and then there's these tabs underneath here. I'll lift up. Lift this tab over the middle. Those are a little tricky to get off of this lip when you just pull this plug out. And the plug goes in here. Just be careful because it's on the circuit board. Loosen this up and take this screw out. I got one screw out of the bottom. Just jiggle this, it'll come out. I'm not sure if it was supposed to have two screws, but it doesn't. Does it have two holes? Yeah, it looks like this one is here, and then this one will be over. Like should have a screw here, but didn't come with one. Now I'm gonna take this screw out. Now I have to take this spring wire off. Okay, I got one of these tools. 12 bucks. I'm gonna have to rig this thing. Hopefully it works. There we go. You have to remember, the counterintuitive. You have to squeeze it to open it. I'm not going to disconnect that yet. I'm going to push the boot in because I want to look under it. Now I'm going to take 1, 2, 3 screws, 1, 2, 3 screws, and take this front door off. Okay, and there's a plug here. Comes off. Depress the tab. Well, and that's connected on. Now if we lift this, it should come out. There we go. Now we can start to inspect everything. See if we can find a noise. There's some noise. I think that's the spring. Alright, I have put in a little grease. I forced it in this little hole on both sides. I put a little WD-40. No spring noise. Here we are back inside. Got one clamp here, and another clamp back here to take off. And then we have a cord plug here, plug here. Oh, this thing has to come back through and push in. And then there'll be 2 screws. There's one of them, and then there's one in the back somewhere we have to go search for. Get a little mirror back here. You can see the screw right there. Look in the mirror. So, figure out how to get that one out. It's on that piece of plastic for this pump unit. Take these wires off. squeeze them. They come out. Note that the red part goes up. That is up on both sides. Okay, this is going to cause some water to come out, I think. So, put some of this towel underneath here. Here. I don't know where it's going to flow. Okay, clamps up. Got to go up pretty high to get this off. Pull it from the bottom. There we go. Hey. Okay, it actually comes off of here. This thing. Yeah, that actually comes off of this here. The cloth thing on here. Interesting. Alright. Let's go for the next one. We'll reposition some of this towel back over here. And in front here. Just don't know where the water's going to run. Okay. Reposition the towel a third time. Let's clamp back here. You have to be careful when you take these clamps off not to cut the hose. There we go. And a little bit of water came out of here. Not much. All right. Let's pull this, push this hose back in. And this electric wire we took off over here. We're going to pull around. It goes underneath this black hose. The wire's underneath it, so remember that. Comes up through this slot, through another slot here, and then you can see down in here there's another little clamp slot, so we have to pull it out. So just put this little multi-screwdriver on here. Okay, I use this mirror to position this screwdriver. It's one of those multi-head screwdrivers, MHD, and it just so happens that this hex head size fits it. So I just used a mirror to sort of aim myself, get down there on that screw head. There we go. Got it. Okay, there's some tab on the bottom. Basically, you're supposed to slide backwards. Let's see with the mirror if I can find it. Okay, I found it. I got my mirror and looked around. It's this little tab. So what you want to do is, with your right hand probably, is reach around from behind the pump and push that down. With your left hand, push the pump toward the back of the washer and it comes out. So you're going to have to, when you put it back together, it's going to have to go between these two guides and over this tab. It's going to depress down, lock it in. Let's take it out of the tub. Remember, we still have this black cord on here. This will come up a little bit. There we go. Let's get the... There we go. And hopefully this is the noise maker. So I've seen versions of these online where you can take these off and look inside, but I'm not sure. This doesn't have any screws. It has a little, you can see there's a little block here. I don't know if that pulls out. I don't know that these are meant to come apart. So I may not take it apart until I put the new one in and make sure that's working. Alright, I have the new one on the left, the old one on the right. Let's look what it says on the new one. It says, I don't know if this is a model number, NTWC021S03. And then a familiar part number, EAU63743803. Class B, made in Vietnam, 26 volt, 1.7 amp, 45 watt, BLDC 2727AA. There's a number here, 3105AA. And here's another tag, NIDEC, NTWC021SE3, Sanyo Corporation. Okay, well, let's look at the existing one. It has a little tag, LG, there's the maker, WDD003 2X1M BLDC, and then the EAU number is EAU64082901, 26 volt, 1.5 amp, LG electronics. Okay, so there's an open box. It was $51. I got the multi-year extended warranty through a provider. It was supposed to be an LG that I received, and of course it's not. Well, it looks similar enough. Alright, let's put it in. Work backwards. That's the bottom. First two things, put the front screw and back screw in, and then hook it up. Everything looks solid. Let's give it a try. You see this big tab here, that's going to go down, as I mentioned before, and come through here. And when this depresses, it's going to come against, this is going in there like that, it'll be up against the back of the tab. So we'll put that in first. Okay, put it in that slot. And you can see here, sort of rides on a ridge down here. There, it snapped in. A little tiny snap. Alright, let's put those screws back in. Get this hole down here to line up right here. Have to push it forward a little bit and get the screw started. Pull it forward to get that screw started. I want to make sure that screw goes in straight. There we go. Peek in that mirror. You can see that right on top of the hole. Alright, I got it started. Yeah, you're going to have to use a hex head. Don't try to use a Phillips. You'll never be able to keep it on enough without looking at it. Okay, that one's tight. Come back here and tighten this guy up. You got a little playroom here with the tub. You can lift up on it. Don't go crazy with it. Yeah, and I forgot to put this wire back in, but it should slide in easier than it came out. Here we go, we got that. And that went through this little set of two prongs. So two prongs, and it went under the drain wire. That drain wire is going to come over here. And there's a piece of plastic down here. I think it wraps around this down here. And comes out this hole in the front. And then this electric wire will come up and clip in red side on the top. Alright, put another one on this side. Red side up, plugs in. It's important to note when you're putting these hoses back on, try to get them on where they were. You see this clamp? You can see the marking is way down here at the end. I'm going to try to duplicate that again. Push it back, get the hose on. There we go, and pull it forward. Make sure on the bottom, turn this, it's on correctly. You want that hose to come all the way up to this tab, and the plastic nipple ends here, so you want to make sure that the metal is not past the plastic. Alright, next hose is this one. Alright. I'm going to double check to make sure I got the right height. That's on there. Final hose. Okay. Look at our work. Double checking here, make sure nothing else came apart. Everything's still where it's supposed to be. Everything plugged in, everything's tight. Alright, let's reassemble. We'll lift the tub back in, and they sit on their little slots here. Make sure you don't pinch that hose. There's another slot here. And we're going to open this wire here. Plug it in until that little white thing snaps. Make sure you put this wire, this little clamp here, keeps it from being on top of this door part, this metal part. Alright, good. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Got one more screw down here. And remember, when you're taking this panel off, you got to take that one out. And that's kind of keeps it attached at the bottom. Alright, we have to put this cover back on. We have to put the boot back on here. Put this panel on, and then we can put the dispenser on. We don't have to put the top on to test it. Just pushes in and clamps up. Make sure it's terminated. Be careful on these tabs, you don't break them. They just bend in a little bit. Put this panel on. This little, the little T that goes in the bottom of this board here. There we go. All right, we got one screw holding this in. This is going to snap. These little tabs snap over these grooves, and then there's one screw that goes here. Okay, it's all tabbed in. Double check. All right. When we're putting this dispenser on, slide this thing back, and there's two levels of grooves. It goes back and drops down, bring it up to the top. The drop down is where you put this tabs in, and you slide it forward. And then these holes should line up. Got a double lip here. This whole mechanism has to go behind this metal because your spring is going to come up here. So you have to pull it all the way out, go behind the metal. It should have a natural tendency to want to go there. That's obviously the way it was designed. Should be able to feel it sort of rubber snap in. Okay, now I'm following the bottom. And squeeze it. Squeeze it. It's in over here. Squeeze as wide as you can. Okay. All right. Disappears a little bit down here. Here's another hack I saw. You get the ends of the spring, put them on a wrench and pull tight. Okay, let's see if that'll fit. By the way, this spring, there's a groove in the middle where that fits. It's right here. So let's see if we can get it in there. Oh my gosh, how about that? Where's that edge? Needs to come this way. What? Can't believe it worked. May pop a little bit. Hallelujah, acres. It's in there. Good hack. Plugged in. Put the electric on. Put a little soap in here. Always a little apprehensive, I have to admit, to a normal light. Leave these open and this open so I can see if any water comes out. here. Yep, it's running normally. Water up through here. Nothing here yet. Water going in fine. And it drips. Nothing here. Okay, we're just about done putting it back together. Spring is not making noise. It's just rubber moving. When you're putting this on, put the bottom one on, because you may have to press down on it and pop those top two little tabs in before you put this next screw in. Alright, let's move it back. Put a little spray under each foot, some blue spray. Once it gets on that window, clean that slide really well. And I balanced the legs down there and we look pretty good. Let's see how it runs the rest of the week. Let's take a look at the pump I took off. I was gonna inspect the little motors on the side. Here's the clean basket. So they both go off to the side. There's holes to these little impellers. So the way to take this off is there's a tab here. Pull it out. Turn it clockwise. Comes off. And there's this housing, and then there's a motor here. Now on this side, I tried to take them off just to look, but there were clips here that broke off. And so once that comes off, they're going to come off. The only way to keep them back on is to glue them on. But and you see the windings in here. What I noticed on this side or the other, there's a little rust up here. So I don't know how humidity is definitely not supposed to get in here. Obviously, it's in a washing environment. But this O-ring here is supposed to protect it. This may have degraded. I'm not sure. Well, let's take it apart. You see that motor spins and pushes the water, or pulls the water through these tubes. There's another O-ring here, and this is a magnet. And you can see it's kind of rusty in here, and it's wet. Now, this is the water side, so I can see the humidity be here, but this O-ring should have protected the moisture from coming in here. So it doesn't spin great. Let me show you the other side. Take it off. That one spins better. This side is degraded. And even this side, the one not spinning well. Got a little rust up here, so I just think the O-rings wore out on this. Caused humidity, and that's not a good thing. This is electrical. Don't want water in here. Yeah, it spins better, except when it's inside. Okay, this one, let's take this one off. Look underneath here. can see the O-rings are not, you can see that it's really bent here. It's wider here. I think that's why these pumps go out like that, as one simple little part degrades. Yep, okay. Well, non-reusable. I'll probably pull these magnets off just to have them. This thing is perfectly fine. You know, you donate this to a rehab store, Habitat or someplace, and unless you really know what you're looking for, this is going to get junked. It's probably worth 25 bucks. It's in great shape if you want to spend the time to try to sell it on Marketplace or eBay, or Craigslist, whatever. I'll see if I have the time to do that. But yeah, that piece is perfect.